Escape from your parents' house to get to a party in hilarious and unique ways. Get ready to outsmart, fool, and trick your parents to make the ultimate escape. Welcome to episode 7 of the 5 T's of Stealth, where we will be discussing Sneak Out. Once again, the 5 T's include tasks, terrain, tools, threats, and tension. These are what I consider to be the fundamentals of stealth gaming. In Sneak Out, you play as a very young child with only one simple objective: sneak out of the house and go to a party. In order to do this, the game provides 10 ideas or methods of escape for you to decipher and implement. The following is verbatim from the game. Idea 1. Slam door in mom or dad's face to make them drop the key to the front door. Idea 2. There is definitely a way to get out from my room. Idea 3. I'm sure mom and dad wouldn't mind a broken window or two. Idea 4. I'm sure the dog could help me escape somehow. Idea 5. It's not Halloween, but if I could scare mom and dad so much they run away. Idea 6. If I can give that laundry basket enough power, then maybe it could push the front door open. Idea 7. I think it's time to fly. Idea 8. If I could create a little explosion. Idea 9. If I pour disgusting red paint on mom and dad from the front door roof. And finally, idea 10. How old does a kid need to be to drive? Well, we do have a car for a reason. Ultimately, like I said, there is only one goal, and the game is set up for you to repeat that objective over and over again, albeit in different ways. With the premise of Sneak Out being so simple and revolving all around sneaking out of the house, you may have been able to predict how this section of the review would go. Sneak Out takes place in one house. The house is the exact same every single run, with the exception of some item spawns. However, the most important spawns are always in the same location. This map gets very repetitive very quickly. There is no variety and nothing to really make you excited. You memorize the locations of items and wait to learn new ideas to repeat the same path over and over and over and over and over again. Hell, there's only one way to go from one level of the house to the next, and if it's blocked, you have no option but to wait. More stairs, please. I think the best way to go over the tools section of Sneak Out would be to divide all the items into one of 3 categories: sabotage, distraction, and escape. Let's start with sabotage. All these actions or items hinder the enemies, aka your parents, and allow you to run away to continue the run. Slamming the door in their face to slow them. Popcorn bucket over the head to KO, and dog treats thrown at them to get the dog to attack them. Next, items for distraction. These items all make loud noises or move around to draw your parents' focus elsewhere. Rubber ducky, a toy car, and a tennis ball. Lastly, the items used for escape. These are all required to access certain locations or advance an escape method. The 4 keys: basement, front door, bathroom, and car. A shovel for breaking windows and the wall in your room. The ladder for accessing other objects that are out of reach, and also for aiding in escaping from higher heights. Shampoo to spill on the floor to gain a speed increase and allow the toy car to reach higher speeds. Toy car again to push you out of the house. Laundry basket to ride in. Turning off the lights, then wearing a ghost sheet to scare your parents. A lava lamp you can place in the microwave for an explosion. And finally, red paint for pouring on your parents to cause them to flee. I think that's most, if not all, of the different objects present throughout the home. Along with all these tools, you are able to hide under certain objects with a green outline, as well as search certain pieces of furniture with a yellow outline, which is also the color of items that you can pick up. There are 3 main enemies throughout this game: mom, dad, and your pet dog. Enemies is a bit of a strong word in this instance, but they are your opposition nonetheless. Mom is way better at finding you when you are hiding, but 2 door slams will make her dizzy and she will walk away to recover. Dad is the opposite. Hiding from him is very effective, even pulling off getaways basically in his face. while slamming the door in his face quickly loses its effectiveness, as he becomes angrier and angrier until he is no longer affected. Lastly, your pet dog. As mentioned, dog treats can be used to make your dog an ally, but otherwise, your dog will bark to give away your location after being around them for too long. Your dog is not actively trying to catch you, and therefore is more of an alarm mechanic. Both of your parents are faster than you until the chase begins. Their detection abilities seem very fair. They can detect you from a decent distance away, but it's nothing crazy. The only thing that felt a little BS at times was when Mom would find me hiding, but that is clearly how she was designed. The consequences for being detected aren't horrible, as you can usually escape, but getting caught means starting all over and losing all your items. Arguably, the hardest aspect of this game is figuring out how to solve each idea. The explanations are pretty lackluster, and even asking for a hint is basically worthless. For example, I was struggling with idea 4, which is to use your dog to help you escape. Naturally, I assumed I need to use the dog treats in some way. I tried a few times, but couldn't quite figure it out, so I revealed the hint. Do you know what the hint said? Something along the lines of, maybe I should use the dog treats. Well, no shit, thanks for nothing. It wasn't until I purposely got detected that I realized you had to actively use the dog treats directly on one of your parents rather than going to your dog and trying to feed it. On top of everything else, there is a timer slowly ticking down, and if you're too late, the party will end and you will fail. So move quickly. Honestly, there's a pretty extreme lack of tension here. Rather than feeling on the edge of my seat, I was more so just irritated when I had to restart each time. I know I've mentioned multiple times now how much I enjoyed the difficult side of stealth, and that is very true. But this game is not hard. It is more so frustrating because it is so damn repetitive. Win or lose, nothing is going to change. You're still on the same map, being forced to go to the same locations to find the same necessary items. Basically, every run required you to go to the basement, meaning you have to stop at the same drawer and wait for the search to find the key. It's always in the same spot. Luckily, it's on the way, but still, once you get the key, you're basically retracing your steps over and over and over again. There was no tension because of all the repetition. I think this game would massively improve if each idea was located on a separate map. Right away, you've got new locations to explore and new items to find rather than walking the same set of stairs over and over. Another idea would be to have a bigger location, and perhaps as you unlocked new ideas, you would unlock new areas within the house, new floors that were previously inaccessible, something along those lines. On top of that, there are times when your mom and dad are basically tracing one another's steps, leaving you effectively stuck in place. They rotate, covering the same areas, and there are not enough hiding places in some locations, so you're just stuck. This didn't happen every time, but because there was only one way up or down for each level, when it happened, it basically meant you should start over, which again means recollecting the same pieces of gear and walking through that same path yet again. Sneak Out has good bones. I truly believe that. The initial impression is decently high, but as you continue to play, the game does not evolve. Sure, new ideas are available to you, but you could realistically escape the house one time and call it a day. Everything after that is just extra fluff. In other words, completing new ideas did not bring a new level of accomplishment. I simply felt like I was checking off a list. Again, the bones are solid. You can definitely feel the good stealth vibes, but they are quickly overshadowed by the frustration that begins to set in from a prolonged, repetitive playthrough. I have a hard time recommending this game. It's not very expensive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's worth your time. If you're feeling desperate for a new stealth experience and have nowhere else to turn, then sure, give Sneak Out a try. But if you set your expectations too high, you'll feel nothing but disappointment. Even for the most dedicated of stealth fans, I unfortunately cannot recommend Sneak Out.